Such a simple thing I'm trying to do. And then I poke myself in the eye there. And now, the next level of PMDB videos continues with all 9 nightmare films ranked by a Halloween fan.
With the release of A Nightmare on Elm Street, what was your favourite horror film?
You know, the Halloween series is like, my bread and butter when it comes to horror movies. But in this video, I'm going to rank. I hate when I make mistakes, but I can't be bothered editing this out, so it's going to stay in. Like, you know what? Life's not a rehearsal. I'm glad a mistake happened. Actually, life is not a rehearsal. What you see is what you get with me. So yeah, I'm going to rank the Nightmare films. Nightmare on Elm Street, featuring Freddy Krueger. There's the original 7 right here, right up to Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And I also own Freddy vs. Jason. I do not own the new A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. I've obviously not gotten around to getting a copy, as well. Finally watched it this year on a streaming service, and yeah, it took me a while to get to that moment. So, this is a Halloween fan ranking the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I'm so glad I said ranking, not review. Alright, let's go. Number 9, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. This movie I watched quite recently is like one of those films like, what was the point in this? There's absolutely, like, as much as I dislike Rob Zombie's Halloween remake in 2007, at least it was an extreme different version from John Carpenter's. This is like the remade A Nightmare on Elm Street without the good parts, without the great atmosphere, and added nothing. 8. I'm going to go with A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, or as it's known as Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Child. You know, it's like that thing to do with Halloween 5, where on every posters and advertisements, it's Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, but when you put on the movie, it just Halloween 5 in the title. So I just go with whatever's in the. Anyway, moving on. It's my OCD. Whew. Number 7, A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. I feel like this is when you start going through the Nightmare films, this is when the standard seems to dip. But yeah, they can get, there's some, you know, good scenes in this movie, but overall the standard has dropped by this point. Number 6, this might be a surprise for a number of people, is Freddy's Dead, the new Final Nightmare. Not the new Nightmare, the Final Nightmare. Yes, it's bad, but for me, it's like it's one of those films that's like so bad at points it becomes good, in my opinion, anyway. I think the cast are quite likable too, so that always helps. Freddy vs. Jason. This is actually, I'm surprised. Like, this is my own list, and I'm going by what I rated these films as I watched them the last couple of years. And Freddy vs. Jason sitting at number 5. I thought it'd be near a top 3 film for sure, because I always seem to have a good time with this movie. And I love the third act. I love the Jason bouncing off the walls in that dream sequence. I remember folk at school talking about that as it was released while I was still in secondary, and that was, what people were talking about. Then we get to A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, at number 4th spot. And I didn't like this film on first viewing. It has grown on me, but I think the reason it's so high up in this list is because it's just got that killer dance scene, hasn't it? I apologize for that. Number three on my list, I'm going to go with, which seems to be a fan favorite among fans, is Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. And I can see why there's a lot of, even though I enjoy number two, it's grown on me. It is an improvement from number two, and it's where, you know, it was the best entry in the series for a number of movies. And the whole welcome to primetime scene. It's a lot of memorable scenes. Freddy's not became the comedian quite yet. There is some jokes, but it's still a serious tone. And yeah, a great cast, maybe the best cast, with the exception of the original cast in this movie. And yeah, Heller's back too. She's like the Jamie Lee Curtis of the Nightmare series. Number two, I'm going to go for the 1994 Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which was a different take on the Nightmare films. It was set in like a different universe from the movies, where the previous six movies were all films, but they were in the middle of, I guess, making a seventh movie. This was the seventh installment in the Nightmare series, and it's when Freddy on the film actually turns into what he's portrayed in the movies. It's a different take. Wes Craven's back, and I think, in my personal opinion, it's the second best out of the whole Nightmare bunch. Number one, I've got to go with the original Nightmare on Elm Street. It is a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I seem to appreciate it more and more every time I rewatch it. The third act does feel a bit like the ending of Home Alone, even though it was released, uh, 10 years prior? No, 6 years prior, 1984, 6 years prior, Home Alone. It's kind of funny to watch after those films have been released, but I, you know, it's definitely, I'm not the biggest, as I've said. Halloween's my bread and butter, but I can see why it's still one of the greatest, most beloved horror films ever made. And Freddy Krueger, as far as horror goes, he's like the Hulk Hogan to the wrestling. He is, you know, bread and butter Halloween, but I've got to give Freddy Krueger's biggest name in horror ever, in my opinion, and that's coming from Halloween. He was all over the place in the 80s and 90s. I remember I grew up. I was a young kid during the 90s, and he was just all over the place. Everybody knew who Freddy was, even if he had never watched his films. You knew who Freddy Krueger was. So that is my rankings of all nine Nightmare on Elm Street films. Hope you enjoyed.